I was trying to run like HIIT classes from like the local school hall, which was okay. Like it was costing me more than I was earning. So I was like, do you know what? I'm just gonna completely change my life. I kind of knew what was going to happen. I was like, that's what it's going to look like. But obviously I'm not going to be sat here clothed. I'm going to be stood up there, not with any clothes at all. I never really had any like goals in it, other than just get on stage. Wow. Thanks, see ya. Those goals are no joke. So I'm living the diet and the lifestyle that I'm telling my clients, and honestly, it's sick. I love it. My target audience is regular women who are trying to change their life.
Exactly.
Like, and that is my passion. Yes. If you're going to get into this industry and you want to do well, you need to look at how you're going to be expanding your business and how in the future you're going to be able to step away, because people need me at Christmas. Relationship with food, family, social situations. I remember when I first started online coaching, I had 50 clients. I said, there is no way I could never handle more than 50. There are people out there that probably watch me and think, oh my God, I hate every inch of her bones.
Surely not. What's up, guys, and welcome to the Insight Scoop podcast. So today we've got the lovely Georgie. So Georgie's made a trip all the way up from
Birmingham.
And basically today we're going to divulge everything Georgie. We're going to get to know Georgie. We're going to talk about the basics of mainly stemming from bodybuilding, but progressing into career, how she funds her lifestyle, how she makes her money, and then also hobbies outside. The Georgie that people don't know as much is the idea.
Oh, I don't know. You're going to struggle, I reckon.
We're going to try.
I feel like I put my whole life online, but I'm sure some people will take something from it.
We'll try to find something. We'll find something. So first of all, my question is, so bodybuilding from the beginning, let's start from the beginning. So for you, as training, as a young, when did you start training? So like, what, 16?
So I wasn't even that young, to be honest with you. So I remember the first time I ever got into the gym was because my ex-boyfriend, my childhood sweetheart, was into the gym himself. So he used to go to the gym and I thought, right, I want to get into the same thing. So I started, as most women do, kind of petrified of the weight section. I would follow like a HIIT workout. I would use the dumbbells upstairs. And it got to a point where I was like, shit, I'm going to have to go into the scary weight section because I couldn't lift the barbell over my head.
Oh, really?
So I was like, right, okay, going into the weight section. It kind of just fell from there. Like I just fell in love with training, and that was when I was at uni. So I was studying business at university, which didn't actually work out. I ended up dropping out of university. And then I just went into like a normal part-time job, but I was doing it kind of full-time. And then when I was training alongside that's when I was like, right, I want to do this for a career. So that's when I got my PT qualification. And obviously I just trained throughout those couple of years. So it was probably like 4 or 5 years of weight training until I started getting into the bodybuilding scene. So yeah, definitely started as cardio in the gym, running off 250 calories of chocolate bars. And then it just progressed.
I still do that now.
How many calories in this Galaxy bar? 250, right? I'm going to run it off on the treadmill.
But for you, was there anyone, when you said you changed, so up to 4 or 5 years, you said you changed and went down the bodybuilding path more. Yes. Was there somebody specific, either famous or in your gym, that you would say push you that way? So
yes. So when I quit my job and went to become a personal trainer, I actually moved towns. So I was living down in Cornwall. That's where I'm from originally. There's nothing down there.
I didn't even know that, you know.
It's honestly, don't get me wrong, Cornwall is a lovely place, but not if you want to do anything. So I was trying to run like HIIT classes from like the local school hall, which was okay. Like it was costing me more than I was earning. So I was like, do you know what? I'm just going to completely change my life. So I actually split up with my childhood sweetheart who got me into the gym. Wow. Thanks. See ya. Moved about 2 hours up the road and started working in a gym. And in that gym,
where was that?
In Exeter. So Exeter in Devon, which is a lovely place as well. And there was a lady in there, and I remember seeing her and thinking, Jesus Christ, that woman is jacked.
Right, okay.
And the more I got to speak to her, she actually became one of my close friends. So her name's Carly. She's actually an IFBB pro now. Okay. So yeah, she was kind of doing competitions, and I remember I would sit with her and she would go through like the quarter turns, and I would go to the shows with her. So
is Carly as in Carly Thornton?
Carly Pierce.
Oh, okay.
No, not Carly Thornton. Okay. But yeah, so I started going and watching her shows, and like that's how I got into bodybuilding. Okay. So I was watching it. involved in that circle of people way before I decided to even do it myself.
Okay.
So she was definitely like an influential person in my like bodybuilding journey, just because I was like, that's so inspirational.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So when obviously you met her, you started to do the bodybuilding thing, and for you then, how long was it? What year was it as well? Just so we can get context of how long you've been. When did you compete?
So I competed for the first time in 2021.
Okay.
But I prepped in 2020. So
Okay.
I remember I was actually watching, it was the PCA finals in Hull.
Okay.
And that's when it went for me, right, I'm going to do it. Because I always said I would never do a prep because I can't stick to a diet.
Okay.
Basically, I am the worst at sticking to diets. I would literally do about a day and then I'd be like, do you know what, bugger this, I'm going to go and eat a chocolate bar. So I was
feeling,
like, yeah, literally, I just had no discipline when it came to dieting.
Okay, yeah.
So I was like, there's just no way I could ever do a prep because I just can't commit. Like I just knew how much work it was because I was watching people do it. Like in my gym and in my friend group, I was watching people compete and get that lean and I was thinking that's just not something I could ever do. But I watched the finals at PCA and I thought, do you know what, I'm going to do it. So that's when I got a coach. I think it was the back end of 2019 and I think I started prep in the 2020. Then COVID happened.
Okay, yeah.
So I got 5 weeks out. So I followed the prep, did the prep, got 5 weeks out. COVID happened, it got cancelled.
Right. Okay.
So my first post-show experience was, number one, in a pandemic where everything was shut. So there's no restaurants to go and enjoy food with.
Yeah.
And I hadn't even done a bloody show anyway.
Yeah.
So it was like, that for me was really, really tough. So then I thought, right, do I want to continue doing this? I was like, yes. So then I did a bit of an off season. That was like my first, like, it wasn't really an off season, but kind of just fell off the wagon a little bit post show and then thought, right, do you know what? I'm going to pick it back up. Got a coach for 2020 or 2021. And that's when I did my first timers prep.
Right, and is that the show? I'm sure that's the show we came to see you in. Or is it not? Is that the other one?
I think that might have been the final. So that was the same year.
Right,
was that 2021? I think it was. What are we in now? 2023. Yeah, it was 2021.
2021, okay.
So I did the first timer show June 2021.
Okay.
And then I did the finals the same year in October.
Right, okay.
That's when I got my pro card. And then I competed last year as well.
Okay. That makes sense.
So yeah, that's when I did my first show. So I have done 3 preps essentially, but only 2 of them took me to a stage.
Okay. And so for you, like one question I've always, one thing for me is, I couldn't follow a diet, so I couldn't do it anyway. But even if I was going to do it, the one thing for me is I don't mind speaking to people, speaking in front of camera, whatever it might be. The one thing for me is getting on the stage in my pants. I find that would be very awkward. So for me, I just want to know from you. So that would be the
thing that puts you off?
100%.
Would be like getting on stage. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Did you? What a lot of people seem to say is that it sounds like it would be awkward. And it sounds like it would be a little bit scary and terrifying. But once you're kind of up there and everyone's in the same boat, you kind of forget the audience as much, and it's one
of those things where I always say this to first-time competitors, it will be over in a flash.
Yeah.
You can't even process that you're on stage.
Yeah.
It's the weirdest thing. You get off stage and you're like, did that even just happen?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's one of those, like, in a first-timers prep, when you've never been on stage before, you're like, you just don't know what to expect. So the doubt does start creeping in, like, oh my God, it's going to be so weird. Like, I would just say my best piece of advice is go and watch shows.
Yeah.
I feel like because I've watched a lot of shows in the years previous, I kind of knew what was going to happen.
To it,
I was like, that's what it's going to look like. But obviously, I'm not going to be sat here clothed. I'm going to be stood up there, not with any clothes at all. But yeah, it is like it's one of the daunting things as you get closer.
And I'm guessing it gets easier the more you do it.
100%. Yeah. Like my last show, like, I didn't have any sort of nerves beforehand.
You could tell. When we came to see you could tell. The confidence was there.
Yeah.
You were on the stage.
Yeah.
And you can always tell the people that are not confident, you can see it. You can see it. And it does affect also placings potentially as well.
100%. Like, presentation is so key. Like, for my first show, I just faked it till I made it. Like, I was shit scared, basically.
Did you have a posing coach?
Yes.
You did?
Yes. I did lots of posing all the way through all of my preps. So that's the one thing that for me was one of the hardest things, was the posing and the presentation. I just feel like I have 2 left feet.
Okay.
Like, I just could not get to grips with the posing. So
did you ever come from a dancing background? No. Right.
No dancing background.
That's the funny thing, isn't it? The people that are good at it have come from a dancing background, 100%.
Literally, everyone that does bodybuilding is either like something like a swimmer, or like a runner or something, or they have like a dance background. You know, where they're doing like double backflips.
Yeah, exactly.
That is not me. I always say, like, I'll just skip the routine if you want. Like, don't worry about me. Like, just leave that bit.
I think it's inspiring. I think for people as well. I think what we'll touch on in a minute is your business side of things. People have been asking me specifically for this podcast, especially, which is basically you from now. So your plan from now, obviously, people in general might know that you've decided to not do anything for the next foreseeable future, let's say.
Yeah, so in and out, retired in 2 years, which people were like, what the hell? So that's kind of a decision that I made. To be honest with you, I made that decision last year. Like, as I was prepping for my last show, I kind of already knew that I was going to not pack it in forever, because never say never, but like not continue with that kind of...
Yeah.
I never got into bodybuilding to become an IFBB pro.
Okay.
Like, that was never the goal for me. I thought, I'm just going to give it a crack and see whether I can stick to it.
Yeah.
Like, it just went
then
from
you realised
zero.
you were good at it, though. And then,
it went from 0 to 100 very, very
that's
quickly.
That's the issue, though, because then the question comes to you, didn't get into it for that reason, but what happens when you're good at something is that people push you on it.
Yeah, and it's really difficult. I have my reasons not to compete for a while, like, and they are very strong reasons for me. But in the back of my head, I think, okay, well, I achieved all of that in 2 years, so like, I must be quite good at this. I hate to accept sometimes that I'm good at things, but like, I can see, like, do you know what I mean? Like, you've done that in 2 years. So if I was to put my all into it again for another 2 years, where could I be?
Look at the time that people compete for before they get the pro cards.
I know, it's absolutely...
You're talking 6-7 years minimum.
It's absolutely nuts. So it's like a little niggling in my head. Like, oh, what if? Like, imagine if you just kept pushing and pushing, like, where could you be? But... Okay,
but reasons for not, let's divulge into that,
okay, so this is a question I get all the time. Why are you not competing anymore? Why are you retiring? So I think because for me, like I said, I never did this to become an IFBB pro. I never really had any like goals in it, other than just get on stage. And then by the time I got on stage, and then I got on stage for the finals, I was already PCA pro. So it was kind of like a very, very quick process. So I think for me, like, I run a lifestyle business. Like, I've been a lifestyle coach for over 6 years now. And that is my passion. You know, is that more of a passion to me than bodybuilding? Yes, it is. So I think showing my preps online, I know how great that's been for people, and I love that. I love that I can share my journey and share this is the reality of prepping. You know, I've had my previous prep coach, he said to me, I've actually had girls that have come to me who wanted to bodybuild. I've sent them to watch your videos. They've come back to me and gone, no, that's not for me. Because I've just tried to be so honest about the process.
And it's not easy, let's be honest about it. It's not easy.
No. You have to be a little bit mental to be doing it.
You do.
So I think that because I put it all online, like, I know a lot of people followed it and they loved it, and it was quite motivational. You know, I know for me, there is a lot of people out there that I was watching when I was prepping that were super motivational. You know, watching them was inspiring. It kept me going. So I get that, you know, and I know that the people that get coached by me and are sitting underneath my brand, at the moment they're like, yeah, cool, like, that's motivational, you know, she's following a diet, she's disciplined, etc. So it's cool, you know.
It's leading from the front, so to speak. Yes,
but this is the thing. So what is the next step for me? I am if I'm going to do something, I want to do it 100%. Like, I'm an extremist with stuff. So if I carry on now in bodybuilding, what's the next step for me? It is IFBB Pro, right? I've done the PCA. I love the PCA. I'm PCA Pro. Cool. So for me now, it would be IFBB Pro. Those girls are no joke. Okay? Like, the difference between the pro levels on those, on IFBB.
If you were to do it, would you be going down the figure route? Would you be going down the figure route?
Yeah, I'd have to go for figure. I think I'd have to stick with figure. But the girls that are winning IFBB Pro cards at figure are probably about 10 pounds of muscle heavier than me.
They're very, very big out there,
Okay, so how do we gain muscle quickly? Okay, yes, we go into the gym, we train hard, you know, we do all the fundamentals, you know, the basics, the nutrition, the supplements, etc. But then you have to start thinking about, right, so realistically, guys, in female bodybuilding, there is drug use, okay? And there's quite a lot of it at that point.
It's good to speak about, 100%.
You know, it's one of those things where, like, yes, there is natural federations, and obviously you can go down that route, but with the assistant side of things, like, once you dip your toes in, like, that's it.
You mean 100%?
You know, and again, going back to the extremist thing, like, I think I just know that if I want to take it to IFBB Pro level, I'm going to have to commit to bodybuilding as everything. And I have done that for 2 years and it's been great, but I've been able to run my lifestyle business alongside it. If I carry on, how many of my lifestyle audience and clients start to think, actually, this isn't motivational for me anymore because I can't relate to it anymore. Yeah. Yes, it will be relatable for some people who are trying to prep and do well in bodybuilding.
Yeah.
But
what percentage of your client
that's not my target audience, no, Danny. Exactly. Like my target audience is regular women who are trying to change their life.
Exactly.
Like, and that is my passion. Yeah. So I have to be realistic, sit down with myself and say, okay, which are you going to choose? Yeah. And for me, it's my business. It's my lifestyle business.
Well, yeah, you can't do without it, can you? So
no, it's
at the end of the day, one thing I always said to people is that bodybuilding doesn't pay your bills.
Bodybuilding does not pay your bills.
In the slightest. It's probably the worst paid career in the world. Let's be honest about that. It generally is.
It's one of those things where I don't know if other people get this, but my family members, they'll be like, they obviously know what I'm doing with bodybuilding, but they'll be like, oh, so like, how much do you win? And I say, oh, well, I've won £1,000. They'd be like, is that it?
Exactly, for the entire year.
Yeah. People seem to think it's like a full-blown 100%. Career.
Even when you see people in the Olympia and, they've prepped for, however long they've prepped for, but, for that full year, their wage is 50,000. Like, it's a good wage.
Yeah. And obviously,
you're the best in the world.
Yeah, you're the best in the world and you're only winning 50 grand. Obviously, people that are in the Olympia, like, they're going to be getting sponsorships and stuff, like, here, there, and everywhere. Of course, but like I wasn't doing bodybuilding to win prize money either. So,
what you were doing,
I think it's one of those where, like I said, never say never, but I just don't feel ready mentally or in a business aspect to push my body where it needs to be pushed for that level.
Okay.
Like in an ideal world, and this sounds so backwards, I would have just stayed like in the amateur league for a little bit longer. Okay. And just
to enjoy it a little bit more.
Yeah, just because it's so much fun. Yeah. Like it's hard fun, but it is so much fun. Like I look back at preps and think that was like one of the best, like some of the best times I've ever had. So yeah, like if I was to go in it again, it would probably just go back into what I was doing before. But then the kind of perfectionist and like always trying to improve in me is a bit like, what's the point in that?
You don't want to go back and just
And like I was speaking to my dad about this, and I was saying like, he was like, because my parents love the bodybuilding now. Yeah. They initially hated it. Yeah. They were like, don't do it. It's like, what, you're going to turn into a man, etc., as they do. But as they got into it, they started coming to watch the shows and they love it, right? But my dad said to me the other day, he said, do you think you'll go back? And I said, the thing is, Dad, I just don't have any redemption to make. I feel like sometimes people will be dragged back into it because they feel like they have redemption.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, they're like, oh, redemption. I don't feel any need for redemption.
No.
So if I do it again, it would just be like for the crack.
Yeah.
Because why not?
It's a difficult one for you, and I can understand completely. Like the decision, it's a hard decision for you to make, but it's basically pursuing a passion and your career. Finding that balance is probably quite difficult.
It's been a really hard decision to make, and obviously it's not like a decision I've set in stone, but just for now.
For now, yeah.
And like the thing is, like I've met so many incredible people in bodybuilding.
Through doing it, yeah.
So many great friends. I love going to watch the shows. Like that's not something that I'll stop doing because
exactly.
I was watching shows before I competed before. So yeah, it's really difficult. It's like your brain is pulling you one way, but your heart's pulling you the other.
And you can still be training the exact same way. You can still be going with these people, training these people, keeping your friends. You can still be doing all that. You're just going to be missing that one little bit on the stage. But you can do preps for
photo shoots
and all sorts, can't you? And you don't have to go down that route.
More relatable and more motivational for the people that I'm trying to talk to.
100%.
So yeah, I think it's one of those, like I'll definitely stay within the industry because like I said, I have so many great friends and like I do love bodybuilding. I think when I came away from it, people were like, so what are you going to do now? CrossFit? Like, just assume that you're going to...
People always assume
So what's your training like now? Are you training differently now? No. Nothing has changed. Yeah, I just don't have the pressure of an off-season now.
Exactly.
Which is nice.
Which I like. It's good. Yes. I think you've made the right decision. I think it's a good decision.
Thank you.
And I think you've got to look at it from the point of view that, like you've said, your clients will appreciate you doing that probably more than they would you choosing the other option, in my opinion.
Yes, I've just spent 2 years saying to my clients, be relaxed. Don't worry about a drink on the weekend while I'm literally there eating the same thing every single day for weeks and weeks and weeks. Like, I'm following a meal plan and I don't step a foot wrong, but I'm telling them, go out and enjoy.
It's all right, yeah, exactly.
So it's honestly been so nice over the last, 10 weeks post-show, to just follow like what I tell my clients to do.
Yeah.
So I'm living the diet and the lifestyle that I'm telling my clients. And honestly, it's sick. I love it.
And it makes it easier as well. It makes it easier for them. It makes it easier for you because they're seeing you doing that.
Yes, and they can say, look, I can do it because she's doing it.
Exactly.
And it's the same thing with the dieting.
That's always the issue I see though, is that there'll always be the case of like, it's kind of, if you're saying to them, don't worry about this, it's like they're thinking, but if you're not doing it, then why am I doing it? Like,
yes.
And it's like, is it because like where's that?
Yes.
What's the reasoning for that? They don't get it.
Yeah, me eating chicken and vegetables and like only potatoes as a carb source. They're saying, oh, should I be having a squares bar pre-workout?
Exactly.
Go have that squares bar.
Exactly.
Because now I am, you know, and it's just, it's honestly been, like, it's taken the blow off of post-show for me. Is because I can now focus my attention into practicing what I preach with my own clients in the balanced respect.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we'll move on to client side of things. So business side of things. Yes. Okay. So how does Georgie make her money? How do you survive? How do you live?
Bodybuilding.
Right. And how do you? So we've talked about your clients a lot. So one thing I want to touch on with yourself, because I think personally, and this is a big compliment, right?
Oh, okay.
Genuinely, this is a big compliment. So I think you are one of the best businesswomen in this industry that I've seen.
Thank you.
Right, legit. I generally do think that. And I think it's quite admirable for other young girls coming into this to figure out what they want to do in the industry. I find there's a lot of people that sometimes don't know what they want to do.
Do you know what? Online coaching now, it is saturated. There are so many people doing it. Since COVID, since the whole lockdown situation where the gyms got shut, the amount of people doing the job that I was doing, it must have tripled. Mm-hmm. And it's really, really hard when you start out as a female, like as a female online coach. You just think, where do I even start? Yeah. Because everyone's doing the same thing. Everyone's posting the same infographics. Everyone's doing reels on the same bloody subject. Yeah. And it can be really, really hard to set yourself apart and stand out. So, yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you.
It's true though.
Yeah.
I think one thing you just, in my opinion, the way you've done it is slightly different to a lot of people. I like you've created very much a brand. And your girls are so involved with it. Like from our point of view, when we took on as a sponsor, right, you always weigh up the pros and cons of taking on an athlete. And one thing that you've got to always look at is how much do their followers or clients engage with them? How much do their clients and followers really believe what they're saying? Now, the one thing that you always see when people really believe it is there's a lot of, well, I see on your social media anyway, there's a lot of women that are your clients, even some that are not your clients, they're tagging you in everything. They say, you know, I am with Coach by Georgie.
Yeah.
Look at this, Georgie. I've done this.
Yeah,
I've done that.
Yeah.
They want to impress you. They also want to be a part of it. And the community feel I think you've got from your clients is phenomenal. Like,
thank you.
The girls all love you.
So the community side of things actually gives me goosebumps thinking about it. That is kind of what I love to do. Yeah. Like, I love coaching. I love working with people one-to-one. But for me, when I got into fitness, it was quite isolating. So to have a brand now where women are becoming best friends, I have clients that have they gone to each other's weddings. Like, they're the best of friends now.
That's insane,
yeah, honestly. And, like, that for me, like, obviously seeing people progress, like, on a personal basis is a lot of the job, you know, working with people one-to-one. But having a community where people are like, right, that girl's from CBG. Exactly. She's my mate now. Yeah. That is sick. Yeah.
And you see it. I generally see it.
Yeah. And I see it all the time. And I have a lot of clients that are friends now. And I even have clients that have branched off to do bodybuilding. And they're friends with the other girls who've branched off to do bodybuilding. Yeah. So, like, it's the fact that I have brought women together for the same passion is honestly, like, that's just,
it's really cool.
It's one thing that I like to think that sets CBG apart from everybody else that's doing online coaching is that if you come to CBG, like, you're gonna have that community feel. Yeah. It's not just being coached by me and then that's it. Like, you can become friends with and however many of the girls that you want to. Yeah. So yeah.
Which you've done. And one thing I think this is correct, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. When you've done things, especially the earlier days that I saw anyway, the early days of us meeting you anyway, you often tend to run like a 10-week block, for example, and it'll have like a name of it, which I think at the minute is like 63
CBG,
or something.
63, yes.
See,
he has done his research.
I do. But like, that's the thing though, but it's not even a case of doing research because I see it enough.
I love that.
Do you know what I mean? I see it enough. I see people enough that follow us, that speak to us. They'll have it in the bio, whatever it might be.
Yeah, I want people who don't know, like, who don't get coached by me to know what CBG 63 is.
Exactly.
I want people to know that. Yeah.
But you see it, like, if you were to look at a lot of people and say, I don't know who that person's coached by. Some people you would, but some people you wouldn't know. They wouldn't especially have the confidence to put it in the bio.
Yeah, some people will
That's
have
the difference.
their Instagram tag will
There's
have
a name.
CBG
Yes,
in it.
literally.
I think, yes.
That is mental, but that is mental. Like, I don't see that.
Yeah,
you generally don't.
it's something that sometimes I have to pinch myself, like that people love the brand that much.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
they'll be like, that's part of me now.
100%.
Yeah, I love it.
So for you as well, when we spoke early days, I know that you were doing some merch and things for the brand as well.
We have products.
Are you still doing that? Yeah.
Yes, so we have like a small product range. It's nothing crazy, like wrist straps and like glute bands and things like that. We also have the logbooks.
Yep.
So the logbook is something that I've done for 4 years now.
Okay.
And we've had a couple of versions. It's basically just a hardback logbook that people can use in their workouts. But that's something that, again, has gone really well for me. Like, we've sold thousands and thousands of copies of those.
Yeah.
And again, people will say, oh, I've just seen a girl in the gym. She's got
Exactly.
the same book as me.
Yeah.
So that's a cool feeling as well.
That's the thing, though, isn't it? It's creating a brand, and that's something these days now people do understand. But people 4 or 5 years ago didn't get that. It was a case of, I'm a PT, I'm a coach.
And that's it.
My name is me. You know, I am Danny, I'm the coach. But now it's a case of people are understanding that you need to build a community, a brand, and that when someone goes somewhere, if they're dressed in all CBG, someone's going to go, what the hell is that? Like, what is that?
Yes,
do you know what I mean?
I think that's something I've realised over the last 3 years. Like, as I've kind of gone from a personal trainer on the gym to an online coach, like, hi, I'm Georgie Cooper. Like, now I have, like, Coached by Georgie, which in a way is now CBG. And as I'm taking on more coaches now, so I'm bringing on coaches underneath me. Like, it's not just me and Coached by Georgie anymore. I actually want people to come into CBG and not even know who I am.
Yeah.
As in, like, obviously know who I am, but not know that CBG it stands for Coached by Georgie.
Yeah, just to know the name,
And like, on a business level, like, anyone who's watching this who's kind of looking to sort of expand their business, like, for me, it's a very easy way for me to expand my business, because if I tie myself to Coached by Georgie forever, people aren't going to want to buy into the brand and not buy into me.
Unless you're coaching stuff, you
They're
can't
like,
scale.
well, I don't want to be coached by anyone other than Georgie because it's Coached by Georgie. Whereas obviously CBG, like, the long-term goal for me is to be CBG with coaches. So, like, in terms of expanding my business, like, that's a really good way of doing it. And that's why I think it's so important. If you're going to get into this industry and you want to do well, you need to look at how you're going to be expanding your business and how in the future you're going to be able to step away and still have the business run, not without you, but like, it's like run in the background, you know?
Yeah. My thing is that if you want to, this is how I see it, like yourself, you want to be successful, super successful. There's no ceiling for you, right?
Yeah.
Whereas some people do. Some people do have a ceiling though.
Yes,
some people are
of
happy
course.
to just say, listen, I'll have 50 clients a month. That's enough for me for the rest of my life, which is fine. But like you say, if you do want to ever progress into it being a successful business rather than just your own income, should we say? Then 100% you need people that are going to do it underneath you, like you said, the coaches.
And
now, the hardest thing is what I'm going to ask you is, have you found it difficult to find those exact people you want? Have you had, like, let's say, have you ever put out something where people apply to you? Or is it because of you going to handpick some people you think are right for that?
For coaches.
For coaches.
Yeah, so I already have one coach who has been with me for about 3 weeks now.
Okay.
And we put out an application last year. I had 150 people apply.
Wow.
Yeah, which was obviously mind-blowing, right?
That's
150 women want to work underneath me, which is cool. That was like a huge selection process for us.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot, isn't it?
Wow,
I remember
that's
watching
very
them
good.
come through thinking, are these people signing up for the right thing? So it was a process of elimination and it took us months.
I bet it did, yeah.
I am such a perfectionist that I've put off having coaches underneath me for so long.
Yeah.
I was tied to that thing of, it's coached by Georgie. People aren't going to want to be coached by anyone else.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And I literally held on to that as a bit of a like, not coping mechanism, but an excuse not to step away from my own brand. Not step away from my own brand, but put the responsibility in other places. So when I finally decided I'm going to take a coach on, I had to make sure it was the right person.
Yeah.
So we spoke to obviously hundreds of women, nailed it down to like 10, 15, did interviews, one-to-one interviews. And the woman I've just taken on recently, her name's Lizzie. She's an NHS doctor.
Yes.
In women's health.
Which is perfect.
Great. So, and she's an amazing woman as well. Like, she has an incredible weight loss journey herself. Like, she's lost 90 kilos standard. Wow. And managed to maintain
90.
it. 90. People think it's a typo. 90.
That's mad.
So yeah,
that's like losing all of me.
Yes, and me.
How do you do that? That's mental.
Twice over.
Mental. That.
So yeah. So for me, the coach that I took on and the coaches that I will continue to take on.
So have you got more lined up currently?
Yes, I have one girl sat in the pipeline who is just as incredible.
Okay.
Who, again, we made through the selection process last year. But yeah, it was definitely a case that it has to be 100% the right person. So.
It's a big responsibility. And for you, so this is probably another question, to be fair. I was thinking, is there a limit that you're going to put on what each coach is the maximum they will take on? So let's say, for example, you have 3. Yes. Are they all going to stop at 50? Are they all going to stop at 30? Are they going to stop at 100? Like, before you bring on someone else? Or is it just a case of, let's just see
how it goes, I guess. Yeah. I think it depends on the coach. Obviously, depending on the coach you take on, if they're quite new to coaching, you're going to find that they're not able to manage that many clients in one. So I remember when I first started online coaching, I had 50 clients. I said, there is no way I could never handle more than 50. Like, this is the max for me. But the more you do something, the more efficient you get. Yeah. So now I can manage, 3 times that amount of clients quite comfortably. Yeah. My life is not stressful. I feel like I have enough time for all of my clients. I have enough time for my own life, training, whatever. But that's only because I've been doing this for 6 years. So I'm efficient at my job. Yeah. I know how to do check-ins. I know how to speak to people. I know how to edit things. Yeah. But obviously a new coach, they're going to find 20 clients.
It's going to be a lot slower for them to do it.
It's going to take them time, right? Yeah. So it wouldn't be a case of maxing a coach out and then okay, we take on a new coach, because every coach that I take on, I don't plan to take on loads of them. I can't imagine I'll have more than 3. Yeah. But I want them to have different target audience.
Yes.
So still working within female lifestyle coaching, but for example, Lizzie, she knows everything about women's health. So people can come to me with endo or PCOS or whatever. Mm-hmm. I do know about it because I've been coaching it for 6 years, but someone like Lizzie, they know everything about it. Okay. So it's good because people come into CBG and then they say, right, what's my problem? What's my issue? Who's going to be the best person to work with? I might not be the best person to work with.
Exactly. That's good.
But now that I have X, Y, and Z women beside me, and 100%. I know they're going to be running in the same respect as me, because service is one of the biggest things for me in terms of coaching. Mm-hmm. I know they're going to provide the service, but they've got the expertise that I don't have in that certain area. Yeah. So of course, that woman coming in, I don't want them. I'd much rather you went to Lizzie, who knows way more about your condition, and she can coach you in the same level that I would. Yeah.
So all 3 are going to be quite different in regards to the fact that you think you can specialize in certain things, and so can them, which is perfect. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And one question I think is quite a touchy subject, because I think I've seen it across the industry at times. And do you think there is genuinely because you just said that you can handle 150 clients, let's say, right?
Yes.
Does it then differ if your clients are, for example, bodybuilding clients? I'm guessing it would. Or would it not?
I don't know, I think if I was to suddenly start to switch over to prep, I would struggle to then manage 150 clients, because what I'm dealing with is very different. Mm-hmm. But you will know of, okay. And I can imagine you'll have people on this podcast that have 150 prep clients, and they still manage it. So it's a different job, because bodybuilders get on with it most of the time. Mm-hmm. They don't need that extra accountability. They don't need that extra support. You're right. I remember over Christmas, people around me would say, why are you working at Christmas? Why don't you just have the week off? I said, Christmas is one of the hardest periods for people who I coach.
100%.
If I'm going to take time off, I can promise you something for nothing. It ain't going to be over Christmas. Because people need me at Christmas. Relationship with food, family, social situations. If I was to say, do you know what, guys? I'm just going to take Christmas off. 100%. That's me being a bad coach in my eyes, because those people need me at that time. Yeah. So going back to that, I think with lifestyle, it is easier, because you're not prepping someone for a show. That's a lot of pressure. They've got to be in shape, right? They've got to be shredded. Whereas but in the same respect, people that are in bodybuilding, they're so focused, they're not going to slip up as much. They're not going to need as much support. They already have the knowledge. I'm taking on women who have no idea. They have no idea how to train, no idea about the gym, no idea what a calorie is. Whereas obviously bodybuilders, they know what they're doing. Within some respect, do you know what I mean?
So for a lot of girls out there that probably have looked up to you the past 2 years, for example, when you've been competing,
Okay.
For them, would you take ever them on yourself? I'm not saying a lot, but is there some that you would take on to prep?
It is something I've thought about.
Yeah.
I thought about prepping clients for shows. I thought about coaching people away from bodybuilding. So taking on girls that have just finished competing who know they want to step away from bodybuilding,
and helping
but
them
need the help with that.
Okay.
Because I feel like I've gone through bad post shows. I feel like I've gone through a really productive post show this year. So I've thought about prep clients, I've thought about things, but again, it goes back to that thing, Danny, of like, I've got a brand now. So it's the risk of tarnishing my brand with bodybuilding for the sake of what?
Because people are going to see it, 100%.
And I understand a lot of my followers now are bodybuilders.
Yeah.
From where I've competed for 2 years, posted everything online. Like, I understand that a lot of girls who follow me they're not going to pay me money for coaching because they're into bodybuilding.
Yeah.
So it is something I've thought about. And I mean, again, never say never.
Yeah, but for the moment, no.
For the moment, no. I'm so focused on business in regards to the site we've just launched. Yeah. So for me, that's...
I was just going to ask about that.
Yeah. So that's my new thing at the moment. That's my thing that I'm focused on. So
come on, sell it to us. Sell it to us. What is it? What exactly is it? We all know member sites, right?
Yes. Okay.
But what is good about your member site?
So membership site's a membership site, right? You've probably heard of them before. You go in, there's a forum, there's some videos.
Yep.
Right. I wanted to do that, but I wanted to take it next level. Shock. But my issue was, right, I only have X amount of time and I can only fit X amount of clients into my client base. Also, coaching is expensive. Like, we're in a living crisis right now.
Yep.
And I know that a lot of women who want to work with me can't work with me because they just can't afford it, which I completely understand, right? So my thing was, right, how do I talk to these women? How do I educate these women and help them without having to charge them out of my arse?
Without them to,
So that's when I came up with the membership site. It's been something that's been in the pipeline for a long time. Like, it got put off. It was meant to launch last year. It never did. It's a long story. Don't want to talk about it.
Okay.
But now it is launched. It's a subscription site. So it is your membership site in regards to there's videos on there and there's recipes on there.
How much is it?
It's £39.99 a month, right? Which is more than your bog standard membership. But the thing that this membership does that other memberships don't do is that you get your training and you get your nutrition.
Okay.
So you don't have to do your own training. You have your own app. Like, I literally have my own app now, which is a CBG app, which is...
Okay.
You go in, you choose the workouts are there for you, the videos are there for you, the logbook is there for you. Okay. So it's training, like calorie guidance, and the membership
So would
site.
you say that someone could use the app for $39.99 a month and not need to be coached by you?
100%.
Yeah, and still do a good enough job.
You still got your training, you still got your calories, you still got the community, because the app has a group chat. Okay. So you say for example, you're getting ready for a wedding, you want to fit into your wedding dress, Daddy.
Yeah, I could do with that. Yeah.
So you think, right, I'm going to sign up. I'm going to go with the wedding group chat. So you're going to be chucked in a group chat with other women who are getting married. That's very good. I like that. Right? It's the community thing. It's what we thrive off of at CBG. So you get that, and then you can have the program set for you, the calories set for you, and then we just do videos like every week or so, like podcast talking to people like you, and also just like training and education as well on nutrition.
So just one question now: you don't take on men?
No, we don't take on men.
Okay, no men. So
I did get that question in my DMs about a week ago.
Right. Okay.
It's one thing that I've never done, and I just never would.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. But right, okay. So is there anything else you do to make your money? Or are they the two biggest things?
There is nothing really more that I do to make money. Okay. I have the membership site, that one-to-one coaching, obviously my products, which is a very small business on the side. And then obviously it's just, well, you're my only sponsor.
Yeah.
Like, that's one thing as well. Like, remember when we first chatted and I said, I don't work with people.
Yeah, 100%.
I've worked with all these brands, I'm not going to name them, but I've worked with the big brands, and it's just something that I have never really enjoyed fully, because I feel like they tell me what to do, and I'm really bad. If someone tells me what to do, I want to do the opposite. I think I'm not going to do it now because you've asked me to. So I'd post something and they'd be like, that's not right, it needs to be X, Y, and Z, which is why I said I would never work with a company again in regards to just like commission. Like, sounds really bad, I'm not bothered about commission. I'd much rather have my own brand, my own products, my own vibe, and earn money from that. So that is literally my only income, plus obviously any commission from...
Touching on that, the funny thing is, when we were thinking of taking you on, we really wanted to, and we spoke to a few people that we knew that knew you. And they basically said, I'm not sure she'll say they said we're not sure about it, because she's very driven about her own brand, and she's not the type of person that's just into promoting other brands. She wants to grow her own brand. She wants to be her own brand in essence, and not just push other people's brand for the sake of it. So it was one of them things where we weren't sure what you were going to say. Luckily enough, it worked out. But it's good. It's good because one thing I see, and I don't know if you see this as well, but a lot of younger people coming up believe that a sponsorship is the be all and end all. If you get a sponsorship from the smallest store, it could be a local Nisa local. They think like they're going to be living like life of Riley and driving Lamborghinis next week.
I'm sponsored by a supplement company.
Exactly. And to be honest with you, like it's not that great.
It's one of those things, and I do think about it sometimes, and I think like fair play to you guys, because obviously you pay us well, like in terms of commission. But like you've got to give us like free products and stuff like that. And I just think like some of these companies where they must be giving out thousands of pounds worth of free products. And if that influencer is saying, oh yeah, buy this product, but also buy this product and this product, but next week don't buy that product, buy this product as well.
I've left that company now, so buy this other one instead.
People are not buying from them, 100%. Right? So these companies like yourself, they're paying they're giving out all of these free products to these people. Are they even getting a return? Like it's a business risk that I can really like appreciate from you guys from you guys' side.
It is a risk, 100%. It is, and I think a lot of time, it's a risk because a lot of time you probably don't get your money back.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like there must be sometimes when you think like we're not making our money back on that.
100%. But at the same time, like having our thing was always, even from the beginning, and I'm not trying to, this isn't about us, but we want everybody to feel a community around a brand similar to yourselves.
It is actually
exactly the same thing.
Do you know what it actually really is?
Honestly, because for me it was a case of I don't care whether there's so much money to be made. It's a case of, are people feeling involved? Are the athletes feeling involved? But are the athletes, fans feeling involved with the brand as well? It can't be a case of the fans are just buying the product. I don't want that. I want the people to know what insight is.
When you think about it, like when you think of insights, I don't know if I'm being biased here, but there is like team insights. Is there any other supplement where a company that's like that? Sorry to say it, but I don't think there is. Not that's as good as us.
Honestly, believing in a retail store in terms of what we are, we're a retail brand, I guess you could say. Sponsoring athletes didn't happen. It didn't happen before we did. Didn't. It was only brands, wasn't it? So it was your USNs, it was your Dr. Nutritions. And someone said it was actually what a good idea. Because for you guys as athletes, you get to pick and choose what you want from a variety of 500 products.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Instead of tying yourself down to one brand as well.
Exactly.
I think when you tie yourself down to one brand, everyone's lying through their teeth slightly.
100%.
This is the best EAA.
100%.
I have a lot of friends that are sponsored by one company, and I know they've got other products in their cupboard with other brands.
I do, because they asked me for it.
I know, I can imagine. So that's one reason why I went with you.
And it's just you've got to be real. That's the whole thing. Everything's got to be real. You are very real in everything you do.
Yes.
And people can see that.
I would like to say if I put on my Instagram, I like using this, I recommend it. I would like to think that people would never think I'm lying about that.
Yeah, exactly.
Because when do I ever push products down people's throat? I just don't.
And people often ask us in the question boxes, if you could pick one brand to have the rest of your life, what would you have? I couldn't tell you.
Couldn't tell you
because I do not like every product from any brand. Any brand. Even my own brand. I'm like, no, that one's not as great. Because it's true. Like no product can be, perfect. But anyway, I want to move on to yourself. Now this is a bit of a we're going to try and dig as deep as we can get with you, right? Okay. So regarding yourself outside of bodybuilding and things. Now I know bodybuilding and growing your business takes up a large probably a percentage of your life, right?
Yes.
Is there anything that you like to do outside of it? Please don't say no.
I'm just laughing because I knew you was going to ask me this.
So, is there?
Daddy, I'm not joking when I say this. There is nothing else I do, right? Okay. And I was trying to think, like, just think of like a hobby that you enjoy. Like, just think of something that you do that's not working or training. There isn't anything.
There's nothing.
I can bullshit you and be like,
cut the podcast button.
Like, I don't know. I've never been a big hobby person. I've never been like really into a sport, or I've done bits and bobs. Like I used to horse ride when I was younger. Yeah. I started powerlifting when I was training at one point, but there's nothing that I'm really like, when people are like really good at something, like they'll do like dance and they're really good at it, or gymnastics and they're really good at it. Like,
yeah, but your thing's business.
This is what I was going to say. My hobby is doing business.
That, and I get that 100%.
Like I would, if I think, right, okay, G, just think of a hobby that you could do. Start painting a picture, for example. I know that's random, but let's just go with it. So I've got my paintbrushes out. I'm painting a picture. All I'm thinking in the back of my head is you could be working right now. Yeah. No, you could be building a brand right now. You could be thinking of new ideas and doing things and organising things. So I struggle to focus on anything that's not business or training. Yeah. Which is kind of why I think I really did enjoy bodybuilding in a way and prepping, because it was something that took me away from work in a positive respect, but also I was so passionate about. So
okay, but what I want to say is, so for you, obviously you love working. Working is your hobby, your passion, everything, right? Now the question is, so you're gonna obviously now begin to bring more coaches on, like we spoke about, right? at some point, it's going to come to a point where most likely, you're going to be old and grey, and you're going to potentially want to take a bit of time out.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
So what I'm just trying to get to is,
where's the end?
And is there anything you think you might want to take up? Maybe I know it's hard to say now.
No. It isn't, because I've thought about this.
Yeah.
Do you know what? With online coaching, it's not going to be forever. I'm not going to be 50 years old in online coaching. I just don't see it happening. I still think that CBG has a lot of time in the industry. I feel like we're always coming up with new innovative things. And like, for example, bringing on coaches is cool. Like, I still see a lot of progress with, like, a lot of things that I can progress with in terms of CBG, meetups, pop-up shops, like the list is endless, right? But in terms of my interests elsewhere, I think one thing I have really thought about in the last couple of years is property development. Okay. So I feel like that's something that I would like to do once I finish in the fitness industry, is work more in property development and buy-to-lets and doing up houses and things like that. That would, right now, that's what I see myself doing in the future.
That could be a hobby as such.
Yeah, it kind of is, right?
And it fits into business as well.
Yeah, it's more the business.
There's always
thing,
business
probably.
under there, isn't there?
Whatever it is, as long as it's business.
But that's something. And listen, like, you've got to, I think, in essence, once you get to, like, obviously, I'm 20. How old am I? 27, I think. 27. So I'm coming up to 30, right?
Don't say that, because I'm only 26.
Well, we're coming up to 30, both of us, right? And I think at this age, you've got to think, like, at some point there does have to be a slight end to things. Like
this will end at some point.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, no one wants to look at a 60-year-old man or woman and think, yeah, I want to like that. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't work like that, does it?
Yeah, I agree.
But it's good that you've thought about something at least to do after that, because I think a lot of people don't. I think a lot of people get to, retirement age and then go, oh, I should probably retire now. What do I do?
Yeah, now what do I do? Yeah,
and people do genuinely not like it. They hate it.
Yes, I can imagine. It's one of those, like, it's just one of those things that in this industry, like, you have to be aware of the fact that there will be a point when you're not relevant anymore. Age
in this industry is key. Like,
isn't it?
It is. Like, a lot of our people that buy from us, the young lads, the 16 to 30, there's probably a 15% portion above 30. But that's not our crowd either. Like, there's other supplement stores and other supplement brands that have older owners, which, to be fair, have their own crowd that are older.
Yes.
So there is that to it, that your crowd potentially grows in age with you. But people are going to lose interest in this. This is the thing. Like, especially your lifestyle clients. Yeah. When they get so old, they're not going to be bothered,
Well, no, this is the thing. Like, there's obviously, I coach people that are younger than me and people that are the same age as me, but...
Is there many that are older than you?
I actually do coach
quite a few, I'd imagine, yeah.
I coach a lot of 50 to 60-year-olds. Okay. And I love working with them. They're absolute legends. But obviously, they're like people that are my age that have lifestyle coaches. The thing with my job is, I say it's a little bit like a driving instructor. You're not going to be with me for life. Yeah. So I take you under my wing, I teach you everything I know, and then I let you go, right? Like you do with a driving instructor. Yeah, so... 100%. Yeah, there will be a point where I can't churn in any more people because I'm 70-year-old and I'm, walking around with a walking stick. Yeah. Hopefully not, but we'll see.
That's the thing. People will most likely stick with you if they like what you do, apart from when when they need to go. But it's a case of bringing in new clientele once you're older. That's the more difficult.
Yes. Yeah. And do you know what? There's so many things. Like, obviously, I feel like I have my own personal brand in terms of who I am. And I know people do enjoy following that. And like when I'm on YouTube, people love that. And this situation reminds me of, I don't know if you've probably never heard of it. You've ever heard of Zoella?
Yes.
Have you? Yeah, okay, sick. So Zoella I used to watch when I was younger.
Wasn't she one of like the biggest YouTubers?
Yes.
Is she still
massive,
about?
Yes. Is she? So massive makeup, clothing, and she was young and all her audience were young. So now she's grown up. She's got a child and she's got a husband or whatever. Yeah. But she's now very much like lifestyle YouTubing. And like her content's changed and she's grown with that. And I think that's a great way of doing it 100%. Because you're staying relevant and your audience is growing with you. So yeah.
People care about you, that's the thing. People want to know what you're doing, whether you're sat on the toilet, whether you're cooking some food. So like, people are interested.
Would people want to watch me buy properties and do them up? Maybe, because they're actually not watching me because I'm training in the gym. They're watching me because they want to watch me.
100%, they're buying into you.
It's interesting, isn't it?
It is.
It's one of those things where, like, having a personal brand, it's a crazy experience, and you don't realise until you sort of step back and you think, wow, these people aren't they are buying into my business, but they're also buying into me as a person.
Into you, yeah. And that's the one thing I always say is if you can create a personal brand, your life's set.
Yes.
It is.
Yes.
You could sell that salt lamp to someone.
I could sell that. Put my name on that salt lamp.
You could sell that. But that's the thing, you could actually like... If you have a personal brand and people buy into you and people know who you are, same with celebrities, you can make whatever you want out of that. You can sell anything.
I do agree. I think that it's one thing that you want to make sure that if you're starting a business in whatever industry really, but let's talk about fitness in general, you want to be selling yourself as well.
Yeah.
People want to know what you're doing as well as like what you're achieving with other people. So it's finding that balance, isn't it?
It is. It's a difficult one.
You're only doing it if you're likable as well. Like some people will hate you. Don't get me wrong. Like there are people out there that probably watch me and think, oh my God, I hate every inch of her bones.
Sure,
right?
they're not.
But it's not a bad thing, right?
No.
Because
it's not.
You actually want people to hate you in a way. Like when I read things about myself that aren't positive, I think actually that's quite good because it means that you've got a bit of a personality. Some people will hate you and some people will love you.
If you don't, you're right.
If you don't, you're just vanilla. You're boring. People won't love you. You know, you want people to love you as well, as much as having that sort of people that aren't like super into you. But that's not a bad thing. Like you shouldn't change the way you are.
Everyone in the public eye that's in the public eye have negatives as well. Yeah,
of course. Yeah. It's just part and parcel of putting yourself online. Like you're going to have people that don't agree with you and don't love what you're doing, but in a way, like as long as you're yourself, like people will also love you, you know?
So you're back on YouTube more recently, right?
I've stopped for a while.
So you did one recently?
No, I don't. My bad. I haven't done I haven't done a YouTube since I competed.
Okay. Well, I think you should get back on it.
Oh, thank you. Do you know what? People always say, where's the YouTube? Where's the YouTube?
But I think you should. It's like we just spoke about personal brand. You know, we're speaking about it now and it's a massive thing. And even if you think it's boring, people don't think it's boring.
I know this is the thing I need to get out of my head. I think I'm not even competing now. So what do you guys want to do? Like, what do you want to do? Watch me butter my toast in the morning.
But they would.
But they do. They actually do. They actually do.
It's crazy. So I think that's something I think that'd be good. I think I think
YouTube is one of those things where it's a lot of work.
It is. It's a lot more work than people think.
People don't 100%. Realize how much time goes into making a YouTube video.
My thing is because when you're busy in general and you're actually busy, you're not just pretending you're busy, right?
Being busy.
Some people pretend they are.
Right.
So my thing is when you actually are, to take the time to remember to have your camera with you, to remember I better take a video of this.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't have the time to take a video of this. I need to do it.
Yes, exactly.
And that's the difficulty that I find a lot of people. It's so hard to fit it in. It is.
Yeah, and I think that when I'm prepping and putting a video up every week, I find that quite easy because it's like a journey and people are following it and they want to know. But when you're busy and I'm trying to do multiple things right now. Like business is so busy right now and like I'm trying to get across, like I'm trying to help women out on a personal level as well as obviously through the site. So like it is a shame, but YouTube does take a back seat because unless you're a content creator and like a lot of money comes from
just from that,
I don't get any money from making YouTube. You know, you don't make minimal money on that. I haven't got any sponsors for YouTube or whatever. You know, so for me, like it just unfortunately isn't the top of the priority list. Things like making podcasts, like obviously I do a weekly podcast with Hannah and stuff like that. Like that's a very quick, easy thing to do. And it's still people can still chat to you and sort of get.
It's a good idea. How's that been going?
It's gone well.
That's just audio though, isn't it?
Just audio.
It's audio, yeah. That's cool though.
But yeah, so doing things like that is fine. But the YouTube side of things, like I think unless you're really, really into it, like it is one of those things that just takes a lot
of time to build.
But maybe I should get back on YouTube.
I think you should try. I think we all need to do it. I definitely want to get back as well. But so what we're going to do is we'll finish off with something.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, bear in mind, I've not planned this out.
You did say you did plan the questions, but it's now come to me. He hasn't planned the questions.
I've not planned the questions at all. So we're going to basically
spent the last hour just thinking questions in his head.
I have. I've literally started thinking. So the idea is I'm going to call it this or that.
Okay.
And I could do like a massive game show, crazy entrance thing going on right now.
Okay, go on then.
How we do that. So the idea is I'm going to ask you quick fire. I don't need to. I don't need to think.
No, yeah.
Yeah, I just want straight away to think. So this or that, okay?
Course, yeah.
So these are off the top of my head. So just give me a second, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So first of all, burger or pizza?
Pizza.
Pasta or pizza?
Pizza.
So is pizza winning all the time?
Pasta is shite.
I love pasta.
Oh God.
It's a bit boring, but I love pasta.
Okay.
Will anything beat pizza? I don't know. Point me carrying on.
It depends. I kind of wish I put burger for the first one now because I'm getting into burgers recently.
So you're more burgers now?
Yeah, burgers or pizzas are the best thing, right?
Dessert or main?
Dessert. I'm a sweet tooth.
I didn't expect that. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a sweet tooth man.
Okay. What dessert? You might as well tell us that now.
Do you know what? Recently, I've been loving a sticky toffee pudding.
Okay.
Which isn't a chocolate-themed dessert.
By itself or with ice cream or with custard or what?
It's got to be ice cream.
Ice cream, okay.
Yes. And also, I just love like warm cookie dough.
Oh, I love cookie dough. Yeah. Cookie dough's the one. Okay. Chocolate or sweets?
Chocolate.
Crisps or chocolate?
Still chocolate.
Crisps or sweets?
Crisps. I'm not the biggest.
Not a sweet person.
I'm not a pick and mix girl.
Right, okay.
Don't know about you.
If you're going to pick one sweet, what would it be though?
Fizzy blue and pink
100%.
cola bottles.
Yes. I like that.
You know, they are the best.
They are the best. Okay. Right. Holidays. Snowy skiing holiday or hot?
Hot holiday.
City break or hot?
Hot holiday.
Okay.
I like what I like if you didn't realise.
Let's say like Europe hot, or we're talking like Dubai, Thailand, Australia hot. Like which type of region we're talking?
I would say whichever's the hottest.
Legit.
Legit.
Do you burn?
Sometimes.
I burn massively.
Yeah, it depends. It
I
depends
had
how much
second
I've
degree
built.
burns from the sun. I'm not kidding you. I couldn't walk.
I love a hot holiday.
Yeah?
I love just chilling.
Favourite place you've been then?
Oh God, I couldn't tell you. There's not one holiday that stands out to me that's been like amazing.
Top two?
I did enjoy Ibiza.
Okay.
That was good, and I've also enjoyed Mallorca.
Okay.
I think we went to a really nice place, and actually recently we went to Greece. Where did we go in Greece?
It looked nice that. Didn't you
Yeah.
go to Thingy?
It was near Santorini.
Yeah, near San. It wasn't there.
Called? No, it's the one next to it.
I
don't even know.
I know what you mean. But
Anyway,
yeah.
Greece is a really
Okay.
nice country as well.
Have you got any
so-
more holidays planned this year?
No, none set in stone, but there is a lot of places I would like to go this year.
Okay.
I think I'm going to take this year to travel more because I didn't get to do that for the last 2 years because of prep.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely looking to go away more. Like the beauty of this job is that I can do it anywhere in the world.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, definitely want to get some holidays in this year.
Okay.
For sure. Maybe the Maldives.
Okay.
Is that bougie of me? Maybe.
It's a little bit. It's a little bit. Dream car, or have you already got it?
My dream car was a Range Rover.
Okay.
Right, that's what I've always wanted. And
Yeah.
obviously recently I've got a Range Rover. So I've ticked that off now. I'm becoming a little bit of a car enthusiast. I won't
Okay.
lie to you.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I do want the Audi R8.
Okay.
It's been playing on my head. I can't change my car. I only got it last week. But for me,
That is
Range
something you'd like to get.
the
at some point,
Range
though.
Rover was always my dream. And I'm not big into cars in terms of like the specs and stuff.
Yeah, I'm the
like
same. Yeah.
Someone said to me, oh, that's a blah, blah, 264,
Yeah,
620.
you
I
wouldn't
wouldn't
have a
know what
clue.
the
No.
fuck. they're
No,
talking
I'm
about.
the same.
But I can look at a car and appreciate it, right?
Okay.
So, yeah, I think the Audi R8, the doors do come up to the side, right?
I don't know. I think so.
If the cars come up, if the
I think they
doors-
do, yeah.
You know when you open the door, it comes up to
And
the
it comes
side.
to the side, yeah.
Wicked,
Okay.
right? So
Like a
I-
Lamborghini type thing.
yes,
Yeah,
I think an
okay.
Audi R8 would probably be next on the list.
Okay.
Yeah,
Favorite color?
pink, obviously.
That's true. That's a bit easy, isn't it? Okay. Yeah. Favorite artist?
That's a difficult one because my music taste is so random. I'll be listening to
Okay.
Avril Lavigne one day and then drum and bass
What
the next.
about if I was to say your most played song in the gym?
It would just be a drum and bass mix
Like a drum
on
and bass mix,
Spotify.
okay.
Yeah.
Favorite
So drum and
female
bass-
artist you listen to? If you just name like one or two.
Favorite few, I do like Ariana Grande. So
Okay.
again, this is completely random. Do you see what I mean? So
Yeah.
Ariana Grande is good.
Okay.
When I was younger, N-Dubs was the one.
N-Dubs is yeah.
N-Dubs,
Okay.
I went to N-Dubs knew me by name.
Have you been to the new thing? The new
I was meant
tour?
to, but we never
You-
went in the end.
Okay.
But yeah, I was biggest N-Dubs fan when I was younger. And now so Avril Lavigne would be my woman. Are you going to ask me my guy?
Avril Lavigne's, yeah, and your guy, yeah.
Probably at the moment, Sam Smith.
Really?
Yeah,
I
random,
didn't
right?
expect that.
Yeah.
Drum and bass, then Sam Smith, then Ariana Grande.
Yeah, it's
That's very
random.
isn't it?
It's
I like that though. I think for me, anything with a good beat and a good tune is kind of like a good music. You know?
yeah, you got to be in the mood for the right music.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Okay. Do you support a football team?
No, sorry. My dad supports Chelsea.
Oh, okay. We'll pass over that one then.
Next question.
Okay, right. Two more. I've got two
Okay,
more.
okay, fine.
Favorite brand of clothing?
Favorite brand of clothing would probably be Adidas.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to say Adidas.
Okay.
Or
Favorite
Jordans, Nike.
trainers
Favorite trainers, Air Force Ones, all day long.
all day long.
I have. This is my bad like habit, or
Okay.
like what I should definitely not do. I literally will buy a new pair of white Air Force Ones every month.
Every
That's
month?
bad, isn't it?
Because they get dirty.
I love a fresh white trainer. As soon as they get a bit dirty, see you later. Let's get
Can't
a new
just
pair.
wash it.
Everyone says this, but it's not the
Not
same.
the same.
That is my really bad
Yeah, okay.
habit that I need to get out of. Maybe not every month, but every 6 weeks.
Okay.
White. You'll
I-
never see me in any other trainer colour than white. If you ever do, I'll pay you £1,000. You'll never see me in a different colour trainer.
I like that though. I like that. It's different.
Like
That's
what I
something
like.
that someone probably didn't know. Some people probably didn't know that.
Well,
People will have done, but not everyone.
they probably thought, do you know what? I've never seen her anything other than white trainers.
Yeah, and they probably thought unfollow. I'm really joking. But yeah, anyway, we'll leave it there. 'cause
Okay,
that's all, that's all
I
I've
have a
got.
quick suggestion. Obviously, you're doing more of these podcasts, right?
Yeah.
And I know that you was a little bit inspired by
Yes.
Stephen. So I think that I should write a question for
Yes,
the
I was
next
just
guest.
going to say that.
Yeah. But obviously, I probably shouldn't say it now. I think maybe I should type it to you and then you can let the next person know? Or should I say it now?
I don't know.
Maybe I should say it now.
Say it now.
Okay.
You know who the next guest is, though, so that makes it kind of a bit worse, doesn't it?
Oh, I do know who the
You
next
do know who the next guest is. So you can make it more interesting, I guess. Go on then, you question for the next
I
guest.
could absolutely go in now.
No. Don't make it awkward for me.
Okay.
Just think of something good.
I'm just going to think of a generic question. Okay. So, what is your biggest mistake in life?
Oh, that's a good one. I should have asked you that.
What's your biggest mistake in life, and how did you overcome it?
I like that.
Yeah. So, whoever the next guest is,
that is the question.
That's your question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's that first, I think.
I just thought it'd be a nice little thing for you to do.
I like that. Thank you very much.
That's all right.
Right, well, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me as the first guest. I feel honoured.
Yes, you should do.
Georgie10 at checkout.
Yes, right. Thank you very much for watching, guys. And we'll see you next time.